playing. What do you want to see from him tonight that some of the other games?
Less is more. His game is straight ahead, simple, positionally strong. Trent has worked really hard with him to just get him calmed down and not try to overextend himself. And by doing that, I think we'll be in good shape. You know, he's a smart player, but when you don't play for a long time and you're to a new team, you want to impress. And I think he overextended himself, and he's been much better at practice and much calmer. And I think we're going to get a good player.
And Clefbaum, what's the word on his face?
It's this week. We're hopeful that the pins come out and then he's able to participate in some form of on-ice activities awaiting joining us. Our hope is that as a full-time practice participant, that before the break he joins us so that, you know, I guess if everything worked out, he might be able to tag just before we finish, or certainly be 100% when we come back. But he's scheduled to see the doctors in the next 48 hours to get clearance, hopefully.
Ken, just with regards to your lineup, you'll move guys around a fair amount. Even in games, you'll move guys around, which is, I mean, all coaches do that. But what are you looking for? What sign do you need to stick with something? If it's goals, I mean, obviously it's taking a while, but what signs are you looking for to keep some guys together and they show that they can stay together?
No lulls. When there's long lulls in the game in scoring chances, you're trying to spark something. That's one of the things that we've gone through for a little while now, is we have long lulls waiting on one group to do it, and we're trying to spark secondary scoring chances, secondary pressure. And when there's a long lull where there's nothing that goes on and then you're waiting for one threesome to do everything, that doesn't bode well for winning hockey. And so we're trying to find combinations that give us, you know, a little bit of that wave mentality where we're coming at you with one group, followed up with another group. Now we're creating momentum. And I think there's been games where there's been a lot of lulls before something gets going, and we're trying to get away from that so that we can create a better sense of momentum in the game.
And just to follow up, is there a danger with too much movement or inconsistency that the players can't get a foothold, and how do you strike that balance of need to find what you're looking for?
Well, everybody either enjoys combinations or complains about combinations. I've never been a big believer in three, so I try to stay consistent with two, and the third guy to me is interchangeable. I've got an interesting situation where I've got four guys that kind of have all played in various stages with each other, so that part is interchangeable. And that's obviously Nugent Hopkins, Chason, Leon, and Connor. So I'm able to move those four guys around because they're used to playing with each other because they play so much on the power play. So I look at those guys as the four guys that just stay in the top six, and then whatever's going plays with them, and whatever's not goes down the level.
Ken, from your perspective, just a couple of thoughts on what you're dealing with tonight and playing against Buffalo. Your thoughts on what Buffalo brings?
Well, they've really changed, and they've really become a good team. And they're a team that if we allow them to play on the move, they're going to hurt us big time. And we've got to get our game out there. Our game is different than their game. Our game is more of a deeper game. We've got to control the play in the offensive zone, and if we allow them to play on the move, they're very dynamic. And they've got three lines that are very dynamic, and they've got active defensemen. Their top five defensemen, or certainly their top four, are very active. And we've got to find a way to make sure that they don't get out on transition as easy as they've done. And in watching the game, especially the Carolina game, it was exciting to watch, but it was an absolute track meet, and that's not the game that we want to play if we expect to beat them. We can't play that game with them. And vice versa, I think our game suits up well for making them defend more than they want to.
Yamamoto's not ready to obviously even take part on a particular line.
Yeah, well, today's assessment day, so if he's green-lighted today, then he's a full go tomorrow. So we're just doing the on-ice evaluation right now as I'm forced to speak to you. And if we get the green light today, then he's good to go, then he's part of the equation here. So hopefully he gets a green light today.
And Petrovic, what's the story with Alec?
Oh, sorry?
Petrovic, what's the story there? Still,
This is the final stage. He'll be evaluated tonight. And again, same thing, he's gone through the skating stage. He passed the skating stage, which is the last on ice. And if he's green lighted, then he'll participate on a full-time basis tomorrow and be ready for selection too. Okay.